A restaurant added a fee because I ordered before the waitress finished breathing. This happened a few months ago, and I still don't know if I was pranked, punished, or quietly inducted into some unspoken dining etiquette cult. I just know I walked into a restaurant hungry and walked out questioning my entire personality. It was one of those long, brutal days where nothing technically went wrong, but everything felt slightly hostile. Work dragged, my lunch was a granola bar eaten angrily at my desk, and by the time dinner rolled around, I was starving in a way that made me spiritually unstable. I decided to treat myself and went to a mid-range sit-down restaurant near my apartment. Not fancy, not fast food, the kind of place with Edison bulbs and menus made of recycled cardboard. I sat down, opened the menu, and immediately knew what I wanted. That should have been my first red flag. The waitress came over maybe 30 seconds later. She smiled, did the whole, "Hi, my name is" thing, and before she could finish, I said, "I'll take the burger, medium fries, and a Coke." Not aggressively, not rudely, just efficiently, like someone who has already stared into the menu abyss and come back with answers. She paused, just stood there. Then she blinked twice and said, "Oh, okay, wow." I laughed a little, thinking she was joking, and handed her the menu. She took it slowly, like it might bite her, and said, "I usually ask if people need a minute." I said, "Sorry, I already knew what I wanted." Her smile tightened. "Right, of course." She walked away, and I immediately felt like I'd committed some minor social crime. Not enough to be arrested, but enough to be silently judged. Still, I shrugged it off. I was hungry. Hunger outranks politeness. About 10 minutes later, she brought my drink and placed it down with just a bit more force than necessary. Ice sloshed. The table shook. She asked if I wanted ketchup. I said yes. She nodded like she was logging it into a case file. When my food came out, everything seemed normal again. Burger looked great. Fries smelled amazing. I took one bite and instantly felt validated. This was a good decision. I relaxed. Then I got the bill. I glanced at it casually at first, expecting the usual numbers. Burger, fries, drink, tax. Then my brain snagged on a line item near the bottom. Rapid order fee, $2.50. I stared at it. I actually tilted the receipt closer to my face, like the words might rearrange themselves if I applied enough eye contact. Rapid order fee. I laughed out loud. A short, confused sound. I assumed it was a joke or maybe some weird POS glitch. I flagged the waitress when she walked by and said, "Hey, sorry, I think there's a mistake on my bill." She leaned in. "Which part?" I pointed. "This. The rapid order fee?" She nodded. "Yeah." I waited for the explanation. None came. "What is that?" I asked. She said, completely straight-faced, "It's for when customers order before I finish my introduction." I blinked. "I'm sorry?" She repeated it, slower, like I was the problem. "You ordered too fast." I genuinely thought she was messing with me. I laughed again and said, "No, seriously." She didn't laugh. She said, "It disrupts service flow." Service flow. I looked around the restaurant. Half the tables were empty. One guy was still waiting for a menu. Someone else was arguing with a bread basket. The flow was already doing whatever it wanted. "So," I said carefully, "you're charging me extra because I knew what I wanted?" She crossed her arms. "We're trained to guide the experience of ordering food with words." I asked if this was an actual policy. She said yes. I asked where it was written. She gestured vaguely toward the menu like the fee might be hiding between the appetizers and desserts. At this point, a manager appeared. Not because I was loud, but because confusion apparently radiates. He asked what the issue was, and before I could speak, the waitress said, "He rapid ordered." The manager looked at me, then at her, then back at me. "Did you order before she finished greeting you?" he asked. "Yes," I said, "but only because I'm a human with decision-making abilities." He sighed, a long, tired sigh. "We've been encouraging guests to let staff complete the introduction." "Encouraging?" I said. "With money penalties?" He shrugged. "It's about respect. Respect for the script." I asked if the fee could be removed. He said he could make an exception this time, but warned me that in the future, I should allow the interaction to breathe. Allow it to breathe. Like ordering a burger is an emotional exchange that needs oxygen. He removed the fee, but when the updated receipt came back, I noticed something else. They'd added an extra $1 for table maintenance. I didn't even ask. I paid, tipped generously out of spiteful politeness, and left.